What's up, Steelers Nation? Before we dive into this massive update, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, because this Steelers team is doing everything possible to get better every single week. Whether it's through bold trades, schematic adjustments, or simply grinding harder in practice, this organization is chasing one goal: bringing another Lombardi trophy back to Pittsburgh. So hit that like, drop a "here we go" in the comments, and let's get right into today's breaking story. All right, let's talk about what went down on Sunday, because what Jalen Ramsey just did against the Cleveland Browns might be one of the biggest "we told you so" moments of the entire 2025 season. When the Steelers made that shocking trade this past offseason, sending Minkah Fitzpatrick to Miami in exchange for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a future draft pick, the reaction around the league was pure disbelief. Most fans couldn't believe it. Why trade an all-pro safety in his prime for another defensive back who, while elite, was coming off injuries and already in his 30s? Well, Steelers Nation, I think we just got our answer. In Sunday's 23-9 win over the Cleveland Browns at Acrisure Stadium, Jalen Ramsey didn't just play well, he made history. For the first time in his career, Ramsey recorded 2 sacks in a single game. That's right, 2 sacks for a cornerback who's already a lock for the Hall of Fame someday. But this wasn't just about the numbers, it was about the impact. Ramsey's performance was the perfect showcase of why Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan pulled the trigger on that trade: versatility. After the game, Ramsey spoke about the moment, saying, "I'm going to probably tell my kids about this. I played in a game with TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, and I had 2 sacks. That's crazy." That's classic Ramsey: confident, competitive, and full of swagger. But what's really crazy is how Pittsburgh has managed to unlock every layer of his game. From the moment Ramsey arrived in Pittsburgh back in June, the plan was never to simply plug him in as a traditional cornerback. The Steelers envisioned something bigger, something creative, and Mike Tomlin's staff has executed that vision perfectly. Ramsey has lined up everywhere: free safety in base defense, slot corner in nickel packages, outside corner in man matchups, even linebacker-style roles in certain blitz looks. He's done it all, and done it at an elite level. According to advanced metrics, Ramsey has posted a negative EPA per play, which is excellent for defensive players, at every position he's lined up at: safety, slot, and linebacker. That means he's not just versatile, he's dominant in every role. He's already recorded an interception, multiple pass breakups, double-digit tackles, tackles for loss, and now sacks. Simply put, Jalen Ramsey has become the Steelers' ultimate defensive weapon. Head coach Mike Tomlin couldn't say enough about Ramsey after the game. When asked if the Steelers tried to limit him due to the hamstring injury he suffered earlier this year, Tomlin's response said it all: "We certainly wanted to make sure that he could impact the game. I cannot say enough about Jalen Ramsey, guys. This guy plays outside corner, he plays nickel, he plays free safety. He is exactly what we hoped he would be, and certainly he was significant today." That's high praise from a coach who rarely heaps individual attention. It's clear that Tomlin loves what Ramsey brings, not just on the field, but in terms of leadership and football IQ. When Pittsburgh traded Minkah Fitzpatrick, many fans thought the front office was making a mistake. After all, Minkah was beloved, and he had been a key piece of this defense for years. But the decision wasn't about replacing Minkah with another star. It was about reinventing the defensive identity. Ramsey's ability to play 3 or 4 different positions at a high level has given the Steelers something they've lacked since Troy Polamalu: a true wild card in the secondary. Someone who can disrupt quarterbacks, bait offensive coordinators, and confuse pre-snap reads. And that's why this deal now looks like one of the smartest moves Omar Khan has made yet. The Steelers have been hit hard with injuries in the secondary. Joey Porter Jr. has battled hamstring issues. Darius Slay missed multiple practices. Even Ramsey himself tweaked something early against Cleveland. Yet somehow, this defense keeps holding strong, and Ramsey's adaptability is a big reason why. With a young Bengals offense coming up next, led by a backup quarterback and desperate for a win, Pittsburgh's ability to disguise coverage and generate pressure from unexpected places could be the key difference maker. And there is no one better at creating chaos than Jalen Ramsey. Now, let's shift gears for a moment, because even after such a dominant win, not everything coming out of Acrisure Stadium was positive. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers made some strong comments after the game, not about the offense or the Browns, but about the field conditions. According to Rodgers, he feels like the field got real beat up. By the time the third quarter rolled around, that thing was really beat up. I feel bad about what happened to Miles Kilbrew. I'm not sure if there was any carry there. It reminds me of the field in Green Bay, but not until November or December where it would get torn up a little bit. He's referring to the scary non-contact injury suffered by special teams captain Miles Kilbrew, who went down on a kickoff. The early reports are not good. It's being described as a significant knee injury that could end his season. Rodgers didn't hold back, even suggesting that Art Rooney II should take a hard look at the condition of the grass. The field looked chewed up by the second half, and kicker Chris Boswell even slipped badly on a 54-yard field goal attempt. That's not the kind of field an NFL team, especially one built on defense and special teams, can afford to play on. Fortunately, during the game broadcast, it was reported that Acrisure Stadium will be getting new sod immediately after this matchup. Both the Steelers and the University of Pittsburgh will be on the road next week, giving the grounds crew time to completely resurface the field. It's a necessary fix because this team can't afford to lose any more key players to something as preventable as poor turf. The Pittsburgh Steelers finally earned their first AFC North victory of the 2025 season, defeating the Cleveland Browns 23-9 in a game that never really felt out of reach. The defense was phenomenal, holding Cleveland to just 3 field goals and forcing Deshaun Watson into mistake after mistake. And while Aaron Rodgers and the offense eventually found their rhythm, it took longer than fans and players would have liked. After the game, DK Metcalf made headlines with comments that were both honest and telling. While he praised the team's resilience, he also hinted that the offense needs to find a higher gear. He said, "We keep finding different ways to win. The defense keeps keeping us in games whenever we lull through the first half like we did today. I think we're just playing complimentary ball on both ends."
That quote right there, it says a lot. Metcalf isn't calling anyone out, but you can feel the frustration. The offense moved the ball well between the 20s, but kept stalling in the red zone, forcing Chris Boswell to hit 3 field goals in the first half. It's a story that's all too familiar to Steelers fans. This team has lived off Boswell's leg for several seasons now, and while it's great to have one of the best kickers in football, you don't want him to be your main scoring weapon week after week. Here's the thing, Metcalf's frustration doesn't seem personal. He's not complaining about his role. What he wants is more offensive punch, more touchdowns, more pressure on defenses. And the irony is, he's been doing everything right to make that happen. Against the Browns, Metcalf was once again electric. He caught 4 passes for 95 yards and a touchdown, including a 25-yard strike from Aaron Rodgers early in the fourth quarter that essentially sealed the win. That score put Pittsburgh up 23-6 and silenced any hopes of a Browns comeback. Metcalf now has a touchdown in 4 straight games, the longest streak of his career. He's quietly been one of the most efficient wide receivers in the AFC this season. Coming into Week 5, he had 15 receptions for 261 yards and 3 scores. After Sunday's game, those numbers are up across the board, and it's becoming impossible to ignore his impact. Every time Metcalf gets the ball in his hands, something positive happens. Whether it's a deep fade down the sideline or a slant that turns into a big gain, he brings a level of physicality and explosiveness that the Steelers' offense has lacked in recent years. Now, Aaron Rodgers was efficient again, completing passes for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he admitted that defenses are forcing Pittsburgh to stay patient. Rodgers said after the game that they're seeing a lot of too high safety looks designed to take away deep shots to Metcalf and George Pickens. That's part of why the offense has leaned more on short and intermediate throws early in games, which can sometimes feel sluggish. But Rodgers and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith are adjusting. The connection between Rodgers and Metcalf looked much more confident in the second half against Cleveland as the veteran QB started to manipulate those coverages and give his star receiver chances to make plays. It's also worth noting that Pittsburgh's offensive line gave Rodgers much better protection in the second half, which allowed him to take those deeper shots. When Rodgers has time and Metcalf has one-on-one coverage, that's almost always a mismatch in Pittsburgh's favor. What's fascinating about Metcalf's post-game comments is that they reflect a winning mindset. He's not satisfied with a 23-9 win, and that's exactly the kind of energy that separates good teams from great ones. He knows the defense is elite. He knows TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey, and Joey Porter Jr. are going to handle their side of the ball. But he also knows that if this Steelers team truly wants to compete with the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills in the AFC, the offense has to evolve from efficient to explosive. Metcalf's leadership is starting to shine through here. He's still relatively new to the team, but his tone sounds a lot like Rodgers, focused, competitive, and always pushing for more. That's exactly what Mike Tomlin wants out of his veteran stars. This win over Cleveland was big. It wasn't just about the scoreboard, it was about identity. The Steelers showed that they can dominate divisional opponents by staying disciplined, taking what the defense gives them, and letting their stars close things out late. The defense remains one of the best in football, and Jalen Ramsey's historic performance only adds to that momentum. But if Metcalf's message hits home, if Rodgers and the offense start finishing drives, this team could easily be one of the most dangerous in the league come December. And remember, this is still early in the season. Chemistry between Rodgers, Metcalf, Pickens, and Jonnu Smith is still developing. Once that timing sharpens and once the offensive line settles into a rhythm, the points are going to come. Metcalf's comments weren't criticism, they were motivation. They were a reminder that this Steelers team isn't content with good enough. They're chasing dominance. So here's the takeaway, Steelers fans. The trade for Jalen Ramsey wasn't just a bold move. It was the right move. He's doing things that no one else in the league is doing at his position. He's giving this defense a new identity, one built on creativity, versatility, and controlled aggression. Sure, Minkah Fitzpatrick was great in Pittsburgh. He made big plays and was a cornerstone for years. But what Ramsey brings, leadership, intelligence, and positional flexibility, might just be what pushes this defense back into elite territory. And the scary part is, he's still getting comfortable in this system. Steelers Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Steelers made the right move trading Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey? Or would you rather still have Minkah roaming center field for this defense? Drop your thoughts down in the comments because this one's going to fire up some debate. And as always, if you love this kind of Steelers content, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates, rumors, and insider news. The Steelers are heating up, Ramsey is rewriting history, and the AFC North is officially on notice. Here we go, Steelers Nation. The road to greatness continues.